Today's topic is passing progressions. A passing progression is a passing chord between 1 and 1/6 that allows for do, re, mi in the bass, or you can think scale degrees 1, 2, 3. One of the most common errors is thinking of that second chord, that passing chord, as a 2 chord, just because it has re in the bass. So that could be possible. You'd have a 1, 2, 1, 6, like in pop music or something in the 20th century, but that's not going to work for classical music. So don't write 1, 2, 1, 6. That is going to have a lot of voice leading errors, which I can get to a little bit later. But yes, not 1, 2, 1, 6. We need a little bit more in the voice leading there. The three chords used for passing are 5, 6, 4, which I've talked about before. That's one of your passing 6/4 chords. Your next one's going to be 7 diminished 6. And your last one is 5, 4, 3. Very similar to that 5, 6, 4, except we're adding in the 7th chord this time. Now, what do all of these chords have in common? Well, they are all dominant chords. So that gives us a nice tonic, dominant, tonic in a small level here, rather than doing tonic, subdominant, tonic, which is what you would get here, tonic, subdominant, tonic, which you can have a subdominant, like a 4 chord in between a 1 and a 1, or a 1 and 1/6 maybe, but that one's more like for cadences, like, your amen cadence. When are these kind of progressions used? Beginning of the phrase. Mostly because you'll get a cadence at the end of a phrase. So let's actually take a look at one of these progressions. So we have it set in the key of C major, and I already have do, re, mi in the bass. The bass is going to stay the same for all three chords. So do, re, mi, C, D, E, and I have my 1 and my 1/6. All right, so the first chord we're going to talk about is that passing 6/4, the 5, 6, 4, which is spelled like a regular 5 chord. Unlike the cadential 6/4, it's G, B, D in the key of C. So we have D in the bass for that second inversion. G is a common tone among 1 and 1/6 as well. And then this E is going to step down to D, and the C is going to step down to B, the leading tone. Since it's on an outer voice, it's going to have to go back up to C, and we don't have any issues here because we're taking this D. Here we have the double parallel, or the octave here with D. Since this one's going up to E, the alto can't go up to E. It has to go down to C. So this is our an octave right here. That's about as big as we can get without having any spacing issues. But yeah, that's how it's going to work. One other thing I'd like to talk about, especially with this progression in particular, is another technique that's associated with it. So if you look at the bass, we have do, re, mi. In the alto voice, we actually have mi, re, do, mi, re, do. So that is going to be called a voice exchange. Voice exchange. So that means that if I start with do in the bass, I end with do in the alto. I start with mi in the alto and I end with mi in the bass. So they're basically just switching places. And if I could write on this right now, I would put little dashed lines to show a voice exchange like this, from E to E and C to C. The next example here is that 7 diminished 6 as a passing chord, spelled B, D, F. Since it's in first inversion, D again, re is in the bass. And it basically works similarly to the 5, 6, 4. Instead of holding the G here, we're actually just going to take a step down to F and then back up to G. We have parallel thirds here, which is fine. And we still have that voice exchange, mi, re, do, and do, re, mi between the alto and the bass. Again, we can't go up to E here because the D going to E is already there in the bass. So we want to avoid those parallels, and B is still the leading tone in the soprano. And the last one here is kind of like a combination of the previous two, the 5/6/4 and the 7 diminished 6. The 5/4/3 has 4 different notes. This time we have that 7th on the 5 chord, so G, B, D, F. D, second inversion in the 7th chord, and F are 7th. So the chordal 7th F is now in the alto because we wanted to keep that G as a common tone in the tenor. So the F has to resolve down by step to E, and the B has to go up by step to C still because the leading tone is still in the outer voice. D is already written for you, D to E, and that's it. So that is passing progressions. We have our 3 chords, the 5/6/4, 7 diminished 6, 5/4/3, and you can see how similar they are. They may be a little difficult to hear, but just keep in mind that all of these chords are going to be dominant chords. The main thing is that you can recognize one of these 3 rather than recognizing it as a 2 chord because it does have the leading tone in it. That's what's really, really important. The leading tone is always present, and that's what's going to take you to that 1/6. Thanks for listening, and I should be putting out some more videos soon in the future. I have a lot more topics, but if you have any other topics you would like to hear about or learn about, please let me know in the comments. Thank you.